wanted to talk to you all today about something that's very near and dear to my heart. And it's really about finding your true self. So I'm going to explore that in great detail. I'm then going to go into, kind of releasing and letting go of the things that hold you back from getting that state, from getting to the state of your true self, which really just means living in your truth. It's a lifestyle. You live in your truth. I know, don't you love the leaves, the raining leaves? Can you see the leaves falling? It's fall here. So I'm going to show you that. And then what I want to do is I'm going to do a quick journal prompt. I'll have that in the description box for you to start this journey. And then the new blog this week is going to be about the podcast that I've been on. It's related to my new book. Excuse me, let me pick that up. It's related to my book, and I'm going to read something out of there too to help you. But people were very curious of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about unpack your personality. And what they were curious about is let that inner guide be your travel guide. And you can take out the word travel and apply that to any area of your life. Let your inner guide be your life guide. That's about finding your true self. So in the end, I'm going to give you some resources, some places you can go, some places you can learn. So if you're on a self-discovery journey, if you want to know who you really are, if you want to start answering the questions, who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? I want to find my passion in life. I want more meaning in life. Stay tuned. This is for you. Now, if you haven't been here before, my name is Nina Zapala. This is a place to talk about spiritual personality typing. And I tell you, it's a roadmap to your true self. And what I mean by that is I kind of got dropped in to a life tsunami. My soul had enough. And it's like, you're either I was at a crossroads. Like, what do you want to do? Like, where do you want to be in life? Do you want to stay where you are, which was very, very much under the spell of the patriarchal society that a lot of us live in? I was there, lived it, done it for a while. And we'll get into that. Or do you want to chart a new path? This, actually, what I'm doing today, yes, with gray hair and all, so you never know when your life path's going to come up. You just never know. That's why I talk a lot too about artful aging, because your life path and what your soul wants you to do, it's going to show up when it's supposed to show up. I had to go through so much in my life to sit here and speak to you about what I'm speaking to you today, because I didn't know it. But I made a choice. And my choice was I committed myself to knowing who I am. Why am I here? What is this all for? There's got to be more than just us consuming things. There's got to be more purpose and passion to this. And when you start finding your true self, you're going to see for yourself how much happier you get. I'm telling you, I'm going to do this for you guys, not right now, but because I don't have the picture, but I look younger today than I did like 10 years ago. It's because I'm living more of my passion and purpose. I don't get sick as often. I'm not saying it's easy at all, but I'm passionate about it. I feel like I'm on a purpose. I'm on a mission. I really want to educate all the people that are willing to find their true selves, to live in their truth. It's a lifestyle. It's a day-to-day lifestyle. The work isn't easy, but the work is so rewarding. It's not a quick, happy blip. Oh, I got this, I got that, right? So that's kind of what I teach. I teach you how to get into yourself, how to discover your true self. And actually, I give you tools. The tools are outlined. Even though this is a travel, it's travel related. But I feel like so many of us, entrepreneurs, artful agers, we all use travel to discover ourselves, to get creative, to get ourselves out of the funk of life, to begin a self-awareness journey. So a lot of us use travel, and you don't have to go to some far-flung place. You can go 2 hours down the road. So that's what I want to get into today. I want to get in to help you finding your true self. I want you to find that. I want you to understand some things that'll hold you back from not finding your true self. And then I want to give you some resources. So that sounds like you. Let's get into it. Okay. I want to read you something here too out of my book. Let me start with this first. Let's define, because I have people go, well, Nina, what is the true self? And this is my definition. Google it. And I want to tell you now too, take what resonates and leave the rest, right? Just take what resonates and leave the rest. But I define the true self as coming to an understanding that we are all a fractal of God. So you're a goddess, I'm a goddess, God, whatever. That is within you. If there's a divine spark within you. And this isn't just something I'm saying. I mean, go back. It's hit from history. It's ancient history that I'm talking about. You know, Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, they all talked about, you know, the soul. They all talked about the psyche, the soul. Carl Jung. I mean, this is a topic that's been discussed because it's something that us as human beings want to discover. It's within us. That's what I discovered during my tsunami, that I was searching for all the answers externally when all the answers were internal. And it was like, well, great, Nina, how do you do that? You have to listen to it. It's always speaking to you because it always has your back. It knows the journey that you're supposed to be on. It created the journey. It created the maps. It created the blueprints. It created the roadmap. It knows in detail why you're here, who you're meant to be, what the journey's going to look like, what's the purpose path, what's going to fulfill you, what's your passion. It has all the answers. The external world does not. I know that for a fact. I'm living it. As I said, I went through a life tsunami, and I know people on this channel, you've heard me talk about this over and over, so I'll keep this brief. But my life tsunami, I was in a kick-ass career. I was traveling all over the world, high-end luxury resorts, meeting the celebrities, you know, hanging out with Michelin star chefs, drinking the best wine. What's not to love, right? I had all the stuff, you know, and it was fun at the beginning because it encapsulated something I experienced as a child, which when I traveled as a child with my family, it was very simple. It was just you going on a picnic and having all the fixings and just being yourself. So I thought, ooh, I'll get in the travel space and I can create that for other people. I tried, and I was very creative, and that's why I was so successful, because I kept on pushing that idea out there into the media, and I got picked up a lot of press. I did a lot of cause marketing campaigns where I helped travelers give to a cause when they're on site at a property. So what that means is, like, part of the money that they spent for their vacation goes back into the community to help save like a species, or to help bring awareness to a species, or to help educate children, or to give children contribute to their school supplies or reading supplies. So there was an element always of like knowing and being better and being on purpose and having a passion and having meaning. But when I got really into the travel space, it wasn't like, it was all about like, what can you do for me next? More. How is this going to generate money? 2, the disregard of other people, of even the local culture. And after being in it for 15 years, I didn't wake up. I got to tell you, let's be honest. My soul woke up and said, is this what you really want? I was on stage in New York City, winning one of the most prestigious awards that I could win. It's called a Platinum Award. Only 3 people in the world win it every year, right? I'm not saying this to go, oh, look at you. But I worked my ass off for it, so I am proud of it. So If you want to say, ooh, look at you, say that, but do that for yourself. Don't do that for me. But I was on stage, I'm winning this award, and I'm like, I'm getting, like, my stomach's shaking, and I already won the award. I was just there to pick it up, right? And there was this little whisper. Your soul whispers to you all the time. You just need to listen. And it said to me, Nina, is this what you really want? And I'm like, ugh. And immediately I said, no. Clue, right? So as soon as I said no, the universe heard that. And within 3 months, my whole life changed. I lost everything. Literally everything. My job, my house. I lost a parent at this time. I had a health scare. All the things that you don't want to happen, it'll happen to me within months, within a year. It's like boom. So this is getting into, you got to let go of the garbage, because your soul's not going to do what it's here to do unless you let go of the garbage. Now I'm going to flip into the little paragraph I wanted to read for my book, and it's letting go, right? So this is it. As you begin to let go of the cultural traps around travel, personality typing, and society's patriarchal ways, you can focus on yourself instead of another's expectations, desires, or values. This is very important, because knowing your true self is releasing all that, releasing somebody else's expectations, releasing somebody else's ideas of who you should be for them. Why not who you should be for you? You narrate your own life. That's what being true to yourself is, because when you do that, you are on purpose, you are on passion, you are impassioned. You're living a more meaningful life. You'll attract everything that you need. If it's a love interest, a career, a location, a new location for your life, new friends, everything, you'll attract it all in, because you're on your life path. And when you answer your higher consciousness, it already knows. So it starts floating everything you need into your life. Yes, you're working towards it. You're taking steps. You're experiencing, because you just can't sit on the couch and eat Doritos and say, oh yeah, this is happening for me. No, you've got to go out and experience. You've got to go out and take the steps. But the steps are easier because you're listening to your true self instead of listening to somebody else. Because when you listen to somebody else, you take their path and you ignore your own path. That's where I got in a lot of trouble. So I'll continue here. It's you being unapologetically carefree and 100% true to yourself. How refreshing, how freeing, how uncomplicated. And just think about the number of new perspectives you can unpack and incorporate into your life to encourage self-betterment. You can apply these teachings and use them as I did when I went through a midlife journey, or use them to explore career opportunities to get clarity about your impact and influence in the world, which may even lead to a soul-centered enterprise. It's the path I'm now on. So, what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts and how collective illusions have influenced or sabotaged your vacation, your personality type, your life. And so what do I mean by collective illusions? Let's just talk about that. Collective illusions for me was a promise that I'd have everything and I'd be happy. I had everything and I was very unfulfilled. I had everything and I felt empty. I had everything and I was getting sick a lot. I had everything and felt many times that I was betraying and lying to myself, because I kept on saying, oh yeah, it's this, it's okay, it's just a little thing. But see, these little things start adding up, and that's when life gets dangerous, because it's a little lie here, it's a little lie here, and a little lie here, and see how it's growing up, 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 and up. You start separating so much from that voice within that you become completely separated, and that's when your life gets derailed. So if you're in very great challenges right now, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling blah, if you're anxious, if you're stressed out, exhausted, overwhelmed, that is that inner spark within you. Some call it the Holy Spirit. Some call it the goddess within. the great I am, the source. I love to think of it too as divine intelligence because it's way smarter than we are. It's speaking to you. Okay? So that's kind of what's going on there, and that's why you're having all these issues. Right? So now that you know, if you want to take action, there's some action. So let's talk about what actions you can take. One of the things, a lot of the things that the blog is going to be on, I was telling you, the blog is going to be on like a lot of podcasts that I was on because I was talking about my book. And a lot of things we address in these podcasts, when they're very different. One's about midlife, one's about reinvention, one's about, intentional travel, one's about, traveling for self-discovery. So they're all about kind of different topics, but they all come back to finding your true self. And one of the things we talked about is embracing your imperfections. I'm not perfect. Raise your hand if you're not. We're all messy. We have crap going in our lives. We all say things we regret. We all have regrets. But the thing is, once you get into a more aligned true self, you're living your truth, you bounce back quicker. You're like, oh, that wasn't really truthful. I'm not being truthful with myself. Let's go back and revisit that situation and see what I did. See if I can learn from it. Right? So you start bringing yourself back quicker. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying you recognize what you're doing quicker instead of going spiraling so far down the rabbit hole that you're in complete darkness and it's going to take longer for you to climb up and see the light. Right? That's where we want to be. We want to be in light. We want our inner light to shine bright. Ooh, I did a little rhyme there. Anyway, so another thing that we talk about is, and I've just already covered this, so I'm going to top of this, but personal growth. Crisis is personal growth. My tsunami was my soul, that divine intelligence telling me, Nina, this is your divine time. This is time for you to step out. You've done all the learning. And mine was later in life. I've always been later in life. I'm a late bloomer. Some people are not. Some people are in their 20s. I go to book signings and they are rip smart. Man, they're already like, they already know what I'm talking about. They're already like, yep, I got that. I'm like, damn, which is beautiful. So everyone's journey is going to be different. I'm just using my journey so you can tap into aspects of it that resonate with yourself. Use that and leave the rest. I don't want to be your guru. You're your guru. You know you better than anybody else on the planet. And don't let anybody else tell you differently. That's for sure. So challenges lead to personal growth. What I found, and another thing people are very interested in is like, what are you talking about? What's this inner guide? How do you unpack your personality and get to that inner guide? Well, because I was studying under a spiritual psychologist, Dr. June Lee Nix, for years and years, I think 5 or 6 years. Beautiful soul. She let me ask so many questions. I can't believe how patient she was with me. I'm an ENTP. So anybody that knows ENTPs know we're kind of pain in the asses. We're very intense. Usually pretty intelligent. In fact, that we because we're so curious, we constantly want to learn. So we just store so much information so we can speak on a lot of topics. She helped me see something because she was introducing me to all these modalities, the Enneagram, astrology, your animal totem, all these, and Myers-Briggs. And I don't know why, I just kind of liked Myers-Briggs. And I said to her, June, why doesn't Myers-Briggs, where's the soul's role in Myers-Briggs? And she's like, what? I'm like, where's the soul's role? We all have a soul. We all know that the soul is the wiser aspect of ourselves. It's our better half. It's our inner guidance system. Why isn't that in personality typing? And she goes, Nina, if that question came to you, you need to figure out why and teach on it. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like such a smart ass, okay. But meanwhile, I didn't see that my 7-year life tsunami was on the horizon so I could learn all this stuff. So now I can teach it. See how it works? It just works like that. So spiritual personality typing, and I'll just give you a snapshot of that, is the idea that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I'm going to extend this idea. With that knowledge, If you understand that, if you believe that, if you can take that in, it's kind of a complicated idea, but if you can take that in. So if we are spiritual beings having a human experience, that divine spark within us needs to express itself. It's already expressing itself in the realms of higher consciousness. It's already there. It lives there. So it's very expressive there. But how does it bring its energy down into the lower realms of the earth, lower consciousness? How does it speak? How can it take form? Well, it takes form and expresses itself through our personality, through our specific personality type. That's why I say your personality type is sacred. So all the memes and all the gifts and all those horrific things on social media that get likes and follows, I abhor that. I was online and it's just like, which type is the most creative? That's bullshit. We're all creative. And how dare you say one type's more creative than another? I mean, oh my God, speaking of biased, I was like, ugh, that's not what this is about. So I'm using personality typing as a way to see yourself through the eyes of your higher self. So it becomes practical. I know it sounds complicated, but once I start getting into this, especially when I do sessions, people are like, oh, I so get this. You kind of understand this better. So it is your personality. Your personality type follows your inner guide. It becomes a partner with it, a supportive tool that your inner guide, that divine spark within, the Holy Spirit uses to express itself into your reality. And the cool thing is, it uses your exact traits. Isn't that great? Your exact traits are exactly what it needs to evolve itself, to express itself in this reality. And that's where the meaning comes. That's your passion and your purposes, because now you're following your true self. The truth is the higher aspect of you, and the self is the personality aspect of you. So if you want to think of that as the non-physical and the physical, if that's easier for you, think of it that way. So I know this sounds a little hard to understand, but if you think about that, if you already are of the belief that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, or if you're already of the belief that there's a higher conscious somehow leading your life, this should start making sense to you. Okay? And then, the other way we talked about this, and I already talked about it, so I'm going to touch on it real quickly, but travel is the best time to start this journey. Because when you travel, you kind of release yourself from the daily mundane life, the thing that you're stuck in, the mask that you present at your job, to your friends. There's so many ways we wear masks because we're afraid of people to see us, who we really are. I know I was, especially in the world of luxury and, where everyone's just like, you have to be so put together. And I'm like kind of boho. So I'm like this, not a lot of makeup, I was trying, I got all the stuff, but I wasn't feeling good about myself. Even though I had all the stuff, the Armani, the Chanel, all of that, right? I didn't feel that good because it wasn't me. So I was wearing all this stuff I was like at a masquerade ball. I was like, what the hell, Nina? What are you doing? And I didn't even realize it because I was told, fit in. You need to fit in. You need to fit in. You need to dress the part. Fake it till you make it. Really? I don't want to do that anymore. I'm done faking it till I make it. And plus, it was so stressful. It made me sick so often. And it was aging me because it was just draining the life out of me. So hopefully this is making sense to you. And here's some resources for you. So on the blog, which should be up later today or first thing tomorrow morning, should be up later today. But on the blog, there's a bunch of cool podcasts that I've been on. And this is what we're talking about. This how to find your true self. These personal journeys. Like on the Midlife Makeover, on Reinvention Rebels, right? On Speaking of Travel, on the show with Maria Liberati. Even it's a food show, we talked about how cool it would be to travel, to discover yourself instead of, just consumption. So everything is about starting to step in to the true self lifestyle. And what that means is you're going to be true to yourself. And you have to know that so many of us hide ourselves because we think, oh, I'm so flawed. Everyone is flawed. Every person on the planet is flawed. Once you start figuring out your true self, you'll start attracting people that embrace all of you. And I teach this in my book. I show you how your traits will specifically show you your strengths and weaknesses. And I teach this in my business classes. Your weaknesses are your biggest strengths because that's how you're relatable to people. Nobody gets into perfect. Why don't we like perfect people? Because we know we're not perfect. So we're like, oh, they're so perfect, right? We go like, oh yeah, right. Because we know they're not perfect. No, they're not perfect. They might seem like they're perfect, but they're not. Speaking of, that's the illusionary lifestyle that I speak of. No one is perfect. And when you use your traits, your imperfect traits, which we all have, which all surface, which is part of our beingness, part of being true to ourselves, you embrace that and you love it. You just love yourself for that. I have ADHD so bad. I have spelling mistakes all the time. I can't see it. I can't see it. I mean, I'll have a whole sentence and my mind goes so fast, I'll skip words in a sentence. I'm like, what the hell did I just write? Or I'll go back and go, what the hell does that mean? Because I'm already down the road. I'm speaking and my mind's already on another thought. I know. So people have to keep up with me. I know it's a pain in the ass. I'm like, you're being a pain in the ass again. I'm like, oh, did I do that again? And like, yeah. But they love me for it because they know. And they accept me. And they embrace me. They say it in a loving way. Not a disparaging, belittling, you're a garbage type of way thing. No. They don't do that. Because I'm living my true self. They're living their true self. With all the messiness, all the ugliness, all the challenges, all the pain, all the suffering, all of it. And we embrace one another and support one another in our lives so we can become more evolved and more true to ourselves and share our story so our story helps you. Because I believe the world is one big tapestry. And you are a colorful thread within the tapestry. When you're not living your true self, that beautiful, colorful thread gets taken out of the tapestry. And there's a missing piece. That weakens the tapestry of our conscious selves, of that conscious oneness that we all are, that we're all living here on the planet. So that's how important you are. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This was a little bit of an intense one, but I really want you to find your true self, to start living your life, living a wonderful, joyful, meaningful, passionate, purposeful life. I want to enable you to bring your true self to life. Bring it to life. I want that for you. I'm living it. I'm on the journey and I'm not stepping off the path. It's hard, but it's really fulfilling. And I'll tell you what, since this journey, I'm so much more calmer. I'm so much more peaceful. I've got really good friends now. And my life is better. So I want that for you. This is Nina Zapala. Talk about spiritual personality typing. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it. Please comment. If you do have a question, drop it in the comments below. I'm here to help you. All for now. I'll see you next week. Enjoy.